Hi, and good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm Dr. Faith, your host tonight, speaker, author, certified life coach with Triumphant Living Enterprises. And thank you so much for joining me in this exclusive interview with a very dear friend of mine. Whether you're joining via Facebook Live or YouTube, you have just tuned into your weekly dose of triumphant living. As we bring closure to this month's breast cancer awareness, it is my hope that tonight's interview will inspire you into advocacy to help bring awareness to the second deadliest disease amongst women, next to lung cancer. There's over 12 different forms of breast cancer, and today we're going to talk about the most aggressive form that claims over 80% of all breast cancer diagnoses. My special guest tonight will be Miss Astrid Washington, and she's going to share for the first time her story of triumph of how she survived breast cancer. So do me a favor, share this live broadcast, invite your friends and your families, make sure that you help empower someone with knowledge tonight, and possibly you can also be saving a life. I'm going to bring Miss Astrid on, and I'm going to talk to you about Miss Astrid through her bio to help you all become a little bit more familiar with her. Miss Astrid is the manager of process improvement and quality control for the Orlando Utilities Commission. Having spent over 22 years with the organization, Astrid has held over several high level positions. Just to name a few, she's been customer service analyst, credit collections manager, and also the connections manager, operational IT business, operation lead for customer care billing systems. Astrid is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She dedicates herself to the promotion of education, health, and social development of children and families. In 2013, Miss Astrid was named Soror of the Year for her selfless dedication to the mission of the AKA Sorority. How are you doing tonight, Miss Astrid?
I am well. I am well. Thank you for asking.
You are so welcome. Thank you for agreeing to share your story of triumph, not only with myself, who this will be my first time hearing your story, but thank you for sharing it with the listening audience tonight. I really do appreciate having the opportunity to talk with you about your story of triumph.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. So, I think what's always interesting is if I give some background information about how I connect with the guests that I do bring on. And Miss Astrid, to speak to your service within the community, I recall being a guest speaker for your organization that you work with women throughout the community to bring awareness. And I had a chance to talk with you then. So, thank you for your work that you conduct within the community.
Thank you.
So tell us tonight, who is Miss Astrid Washington? I know I read a long, extensive bio, and trust me, guys, there was much more that I could share, but we had to keep it short because I wanted you all to hear this story of triumph. So, who is Miss Astrid C. Washington?
Okay, so today, Astrid is probably one of the strongest women that I know.
All right.
Before, I never could say that.
Okay.
I don't think so, but today I definitely can. And it's ironic because my mother named me Astrid. And
Okay.
if you look up its meaning,
Yes.
my name means divine strength.
Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful.
So I think this was just destiny for me.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So, take us to that moment when you discovered that you had breast cancer. What was that like?
Okay, so I can't take the credit and say I discovered it.
Okay.
Um, my story is a little different. Actually, every breast cancer story is different.
Yes.
Breast cancer diagnosis is like your fingerprint. You will not have the same diagnosis, treatment, or anything like anyone else.
Okay.
So for me, my journey actually started in about 2015.
Okay.
Back in 2015, my doctor sent me to get my mammogram, and we recognized that I had what is called calcifications. I had calcifications in my left breast. And what that looks like, it looks like beach sand almost.
Okay.
But my doctor was knowledgeable enough to know that calcifications oftentimes turn into breast cancer.
Okay.
So in 2015, she required me to get a mammogram twice a year instead of once a year. So from the time frame of 2015 until 2019, I was actually getting a mammogram every 6 months.
Wow.
I was obedient.
Okay.
So March 2019, I had my mammogram, and it was clear like it had been the months prior.
Okay.
I went back on the 18th of November, and I had breast cancer.
Wow.
That is the film that was sent to my doctor that led to my biopsy that I had around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I received my actual diagnosis at 2:00 on December the 4th.
Okay, so Astrid, we're talking 2019, last year.
Yes,
So from 2015 to 2019, for 4 year span, you have been every 6 months getting checkups.
yes. I
All
had a
right.
mammogram every 6 months.
And then in 2019, you were diagnosed with breast cancer, as you said.
Yes.
So can you share with us what form of breast cancer and what stage were you in?
Okay, so I was diagnosed at stage 1. Ductal carcinoma was my diagnosis.
Hmm.
Um, because in March of 2019, I was clear, and then I had breast cancer in November, 6 months later.
Okay.
I was told that it was a more aggressive form.
Hmm.
So they didn't waste any time with me. I had 6 days to prepare for surgery. From diagnosis to surgery was 6 days.
So, in your 6 day of preparation, what does that look like? Is it preparation for surgery? Preparation, I know we're going to get deeper into it for radiation. How can one prepare in 6 days after being diagnosed with breast cancer? How do one prepare? How did you prepare?
Well, first I cried.
Oh,
I had to get it out.
yeah,
My mom let me cry.
yeah.
And there's nothing more soothing um, than for your mother to hold you in her arms
Mm,
and just cry.
yes,
I can't remember the last time that I did.
right, right.
Um, in doing that, I also had to change my way of thinking because
Okay,
I knew I had 6 days to prepare. So I that meant personally and professionally.
yes,
So I'm pretty busy at work. I run a lot of major projects,
yes.
and I had to get all of that in order and delegate and reassign. And I had 6 days to do it. Um, Personally, as well,
Hmm.
it was hard for me to wrap my mind around what could be. And I had a huge level of uncertainty.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was guessing
Mm,
and praying along the way. So, personally, first thing I did was I paid my all my bills for like 6 months.
okay, okay.
I didn't know, what was going to happen, and that was the last thing I needed to worry about.
Mm,
So, to answer your question, I had to change my way of thinking
right.
from that of, oh my goodness, this is happening to me,
Yes.
to how do I fight? How do I fight? And I'm a fighter, so it was what it was. And so my mom helped me get there.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're having comments coming in, and there's some individuals saying hello to you, and definitely the
Hi,
strength of your mom. You have some people here, Sherry L. Washington. You have Miss
my sister.
your sister. Hi, sister. How are you? so glad that you're joining tonight. But so you talk about just the preparation, and let me tell you, having been a survivor of tragedy as well, it is not something that in most situations you have time to prepare for. When it hits you, it hits hard,
Mhm.
and that's just something that you would have to deal with the aftermath of altering your life and getting things back in order. But to know that you had even a 6 day window to prepare, and in doing so, paying all of your bills, getting things in order with your job, uh, that is a great sign. Not to say you said it already, I could say it. You said you felt as if you were prepared for this, right?
Mhm.
You
Yes.
said that you felt as if your signs also showed that there was some preparation for you to get through in the initial phase as well. And I know you're going to walk us through your journey from the diagnosis to the interventions that took place in your life to your official recovery. But I just wanted to pause right there and just encourage anyone who's listening tonight that it is so important to have your affairs in order. Right? Like you said, reality hits you and you had to adjust your mindset immediately. And
Yes.
I call that adjusting your mindset to a conqueror's mentality. You had to talk to yourself and say, this is actually happening. Now, what are we with your support system? What am I going to do about it? So that's the first step. If anyone's listening tonight, the first step I'm gathering from this, adjust your mindset. You have to get in the game. You cannot
Yes.
undiagnose.
You did.
You were not able to undiagnose yourself, but you were given a diagnosis and you had to prepare yourself for 6 days for the journey that lied ahead, even though you didn't know what that journey was. So I appreciate your transparency and honesty. It definitely sounds as if it was a faith walk for you from the beginning to the end. Now, Astrid, even though you had your diagnosis, were there any signs, that indicated that this was preparing to happen? I know that you had a very good doctor that suggested 6 month interval check ins, but did you notice some of those signs that they talk about that comes with breast cancer?
No. One misconception that everyone has is everyone thinks that when you're diagnosed with breast cancer that you have a lump.
Ah,
I
okay,
didn't have a lump.
okay,
My cancerous cells were located in my milk ducts,
okay.
so it wasn't a lump at all. So had I not been going to get my mammograms, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right
Absolutely,
now. Um,
absolutely.
that's why it's very important for you to be obedient and get those mammograms because I had no signs.
Right.
I had no soreness. I had no swelling, and
Mm,
I didn't have a lump.
okay. You had God on your side who let you know, let your doctor know that there was going to be a challenge ahead of you. And yes, I do thank God that you were obedient and that you followed specific instructions. So now take us through to the treatment. Now you have 6 days to prepare. Now, what was your treatment journey like? Heard a lot of horror stories of different reaction to the treatments, and I hear different people receive it differently. So, what was that treatment that you had to undergo, and what was that like?
Well, first, I want to say that there were a few people that I have to give credit to
Okay.
that called me before my treatment started
Yes.
to actually give me some nuggets, some encouragement,
Very
tell
good.
me their experiences. So they sort of cleared up
Hmm.
some of the uncertainties that I had.
Very good.
The first I have to say is my cousin. I have a cousin. Her name is Tanya Ellis. I don't know if she's watching, but she's my first cousin, and she and I had the exact same diagnosis.
Okay.
And when she heard that I had breast cancer and our diagnoses was the same,
Yes.
she just sprang into action, and she led me through her journey
Okay.
um, in hopes that I could just be encouraged
Absolutely.
that I could do it. Um,
Absolutely.
So then I began to get phone calls from my sorority sisters, Melanie Mack, Rashida, Rashida, called me. Her diagnosis was at the same time, and she was calling me as though she wasn't battling the same thing. Gail Hill and Monique Scott Nichols, they gave me little nuggets to carry with me, and so did Tanya Davis. So I could anticipate almost what my first steps were going to be. So I could not move on without acknowledging those women, because they did not have to personally share their journey with me, but they did. So I'm forever grateful for that. So after the diagnosis, there, of course, you have a series of MRIs, and then you have a series of appointments. Well, I had a complication before my treatment could ever begin. And during my surgery, not only did they remove the cancer from my left breast, but they also removed the lymph node from underneath my arm. And that area in which the lymph nodes were removed, it kept filling up with fluid. So there were times when my underarm may have been the size of a golf ball or a softball even, because of the fluid buildup. So until that part healed, I could not begin my treatment. After I got over that hump, they started me out. I took 2 rounds of chemo in pill form. And then after that, I had to go to radiation 5 days a week for 12 weeks.
Radiation 5 days a week for 12 weeks.
Yes. And that experience was probably the worst. I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to be very transparent. Every side effect that you could have going through radiation treatment, I had it. When I first started my treatment, I became very swollen. So they had to stop for a week, which prolonged everything. And then about 6 weeks into my treatment, I began to burn. But my burns were not unlike anything they had seen. Actually, my radiation caused my torso to lose the first and second layer of skin. So I had 3rd-degree burns. I could not wear clothes up top. I couldn't be around people for fear of getting some form of infection. And I think that was the worst part for me.
My gosh. Tragedy alters our lives severely, and it will cause you to readjust your way of thinking, your way of living, your way of interacting, and it has done all of those things in your personal life. So, Astrid, how did this challenge your faith in God or in anything that you had hoped for? How did this shake your dreams? What did this do to you spiritually? And we're hearing the natural part. We're hearing the impact that the chemo and those different the radiation treatments had on you. What did this do to your faith?
Well, I was raised in the church.
Okay.
I vacation Bible school, Sunday school, it was required.
Right.
So I've always praised God. I've always worshiped God. I've always revered God. But I think this situation changed my relationship with God. I don't just worship Him. Now God is my friend.
Come on now.
He's my friend.
Yes.
And I don't think He was ever my friend before, or did I look at Him like that?
Yes.
But I'll tell you that there were times when I had to sleep on my bathroom floor because it was cold and comfortable, and my body was burning.
Yes.
And I remember asking God, just let me get up off
Mm.
of this floor in the morning. I'll lay here tonight, but you got to promise me that I'm going to get up. And every morning I got up,
Come on now.
and so now I say he's my friend.
My God. But God, but God. Ah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So God is your friend. He's looking
Yes.
out for you. And let me tell you, there's a part of the Bible that talks about God reveals to his friends those secrets and those things that are going to happen. You said already your name was a self-fulfilling prophecy. The
Hmm.
strength that's embedded within your name became the overtone for your entire life to this
Yes.
point, and definitely was instrumental in pulling you through in 2019, because see, God had such great purpose. And you had built up to this point with your support system, with your upbringing, with your faith. And this definitely challenged and shook your faith, but it brought awareness to who you are and who God is in your life. And I really do thank you for sharing that. That is powerful for someone to say, God is my friend. I don't believe I've quite heard it like that before. God is my friend. And we know that
Yes.
a friend sticks closer than a brother. He'll look out for you, he'll supply for you. And like you said, he got you up every day off of that bathroom floor. And I know that people listening tonight may not even have known Astrid to the degree of your suffering. Would you say that's possibly accurate, to the degree of your suffering?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I just I just don't talk about me. I rather help someone with their issue and their problem than having someone help me with mine. So I just did what I knew to do.
Yeah.
Um and that was to pray. And I knew my mom was praying for me, and my mom's prayers go higher than the ceiling.
Come on now.
So
Come on
with
now.
my mom praying for me, I knew I was going to be all right.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Anybody listening tonight, we know that sometimes it may be difficult. You're a strong sister. You know, it may be difficult to think, how could I encourage her? How could, they possibly know you're going through something? The greatest way to support someone, I have learned through tragedy, is to be present in prayer and just offer services. What can I do to help you? Can I drive you to the hospital? How can I pray for you today? That is the greatest way, because sometimes people don't know how to help when an individual is suffering to the degree that you had to suffer. Some people may be listening tonight and be like, I didn't even know she was going through all of that. All she had to do was pick up the phone and call for help and let me know. I'd have been right there. But probably it wasn't for you to know. Probably it was an opportunity for God to walk you through those experiences so that you can learn and experience Him as your friend. So that is so very important as well to think about. So you shared your response to the radiation. You talked about the support system that you had in place. You talked about how God picked you up every day and kept you going, and just kept you in the process. And you say it was a duration of, was it 8 months?
Yes, I think it was about 8 months total.
Okay. Now, was there a moment, Astrid, that, to be honest, did you want to throw in the towel? Was there a moment?
No.
Hey,
No.
I believe you.
No.
I believe you 100%.
Giving up is never an option.
Wonderful.
Just because the road is hard, it
Come
does.
on.
I know just because I was bending, but I refuse to break.
Come on
So
now.
I can't remember a day when I just wanted to throw in the towel. Absolutely not. I'm not built that way.
Come on, Astrid. Talk to us. Yes, yes, sister. You
No,
are not
I'm
built
not built
that
like
way.
that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's so good to know. The strength, your spirit is so very strong. So very strong. And I thank God for the faith that you have endured this journey. And now you are cancer free.
I am.
Congratulations. What was it like ringing that
Thank.
bell?
Oh, it felt so good. And what made that day so special, I know you guys probably saw it on Facebook,
Yes.
but my classmates, Jones High class of 1990,
Come on
they
now.
surprised me and came to my last treatment. And when I walked out, they were all standing there with long stem pink roses for me.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
I could not have been given a greater gift. So
Beautiful.
that day for me was actually so good. It was amazing. And I gave gifts to the staff at the Winter Park Cancer Center,
Awesome.
and I told them, I hope I never see you all again. I don't plan on coming back here.
That's right.
But ringing that bell felt good because remember, I had been looking at that bell
Yes.
5 days a week for the last 12 weeks.
Mm.
And I finally got a chance to put my hands on it, and knowing that I didn't have to wake up that next day and go. That was an amazing feeling. I thank
Awesome.
God. Hmm.
Amen. Amen. You having a couple of shout outs here. You have Cynthia Henry, who's saying Astrid has always been a fighter. She never gives up. Rashida is on. You
Hey,
spoke about her.
Rashida. Hey.
She's giving you all hands, and she's excited, applauding you for your journey. And Miss Hobbs, is it Asheen Hobbs, says sometimes you can't even find the words to ask for help. Tony Washington says, I love you, Fab.
That's my sister.
Hi, Tony. That's wonderful. Barbara says, Heartfeel, what a testimony. God is awesome. Cassandra Harris says, nothing like a mother's love. So you definitely have some people here. You're a true fighter who support your journey, and they're just giving you some love and some shout outs, most definitely. So, Astrid, what motivates you to keep moving forward in your healing?
My commitment to me.
Mm, okay.
One of the things I realized in going through this journey, that I was committed to so many things and people,
Mm,
and I think I was last on the list
amen.
at some point.
Okay.
And this journey taught me to be committed to me.
Awesome.
So it may sound selfish, and I, at this point it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But my motivation at this time is me.
That's all right.
Um, I have to take care of myself. I have to take my medication. I have to see my oncologist, and nobody is going to do those things for me.
Absolutely.
So my commitment to me now is what motivates me.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that honesty. I love that. Staying committed to yourself and making sure that you put yourself as a priority. And like you said, lots of times
Absolutely.
we strong women, we put everyone before us because we want to save the world. We want to help everybody, especially if God position us in a position where he establishes us. And, we work hard to get where we are. So we sometimes feel like we have to, help everybody else, experience what we're experiencing, and support and provide help and assistance. But this time it was all about you. You needed the help and
Yes.
the support. So I'm so glad that your friend, God Almighty, stepped in and helped you with that. And your friends on live tonight who is supporting you and just loving on you and sharing how proud they are of you. And everybody here is on the live feed talking about you being such an awesome fighter. So, yeah, that is definitely, everyone is attesting to the fact that you are a true fighter. I
I
do.
like a good fight.
Oh,
I
yes.
do. I do. I'm not running. I am not running. I do. I like a good fight.
All right now. Well, Astrid, I know at some point everybody gonna have to rest. Now, are you at least resting a little bit from the fight? This has been a journey for you. Please tell me you're resting a little bit.
No. Oh, I'm not. My priorities are different
Yes.
now,
Okay.
but I'm really not resting. But I'm enjoying every day. So
Mm, mm.
it feels good.
That's
It feels
wonderful.
good.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Let me see. Can you share with anyone who's listening tonight? They're probably saying, I'm tuning in. This will never be my story. I don't have to worry about this. It's not hereditary. Not, I don't have any warnings. What's your message?
My message to the people who may think it will never happen to them, I have a question for those people. Why would you gamble with you?
Okay.
Why would you gamble with yourself? If you are required to go have those tests, you need to go. People make time for everything else. But I've been told there have been people that have admitted to me they haven't had a mammogram in years. And I can't believe it.
Wow.
I that just blows my mind, because you can never say what won't happen to you.
Right.
If you pay attention, if they just pay attention and look around them, I think I could name at least 15 women with less than 2 degrees of separation that I know that have fought this battle. It's happening to us. It's happening to us, and it's happening to us by record numbers. And you could be in that number. So just with you, take care of yourself and do what you have to do.
Whew. You're ministering, Astrid. You're ministering. Tonight, you are ministering to somebody who's listening who have not done their mammogram because they're thinking that. So I hope that that your story of triumph and the struggles that you had to endure and go through will not only be a testimony, but will also be a preparation and a warning for other women. And I know that research shows that you should, at least at the age of 40, start getting those annual checkups. Self-examination is out there, and like you said, just this year alone we'll have over 230,000 women diagnosed
Yes.
with some form of breast cancer, 1 in every 8 women here in the United States alone. So yes, we're not wishing that definitely on anybody, but preparation is the key. Preparation is the key, and detection of this disease will only increase your survival rate. It's best to be in the know than to be in the dark about this disease. Education is key. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Miss Astrid. Thank you for being vulnerable, transparent, and just so honest about your journey through surviving breast cancer. So tell us what's on the horizon for you. We know your priority is the Lord and family, and you work very, very hard. But what's on the horizon for Miss Astrid?
Actually, Astrid is preparing to retire in 8 years. So I'm getting my life in order.
Okay. Okay.
To prepare to say goodbye to OUC after 30 years. So
Wow.
that's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing I'm doing is a lot of furniture shopping.
That's
That's in
great.
my immediate future.
Wonderful.
And I'm just enjoying myself, just taking one day at a time. I don't. I'm not as serious as I used to be. I know my sorority sisters in Nu Iota Omega would say I'm very, very serious.
Yes.
But I don't take myself as serious anymore. I've learned that life is too short.
Yes.
So you have to do the things that you enjoy. It's good to work hard, but also enjoy yourself. And so I'm doing a little bit more of the enjoying myself right now. So who knows? I always pull something out of the hat. So yeah. There's a lot of things on the horizon. You'll see them when they happen. I don't like to talk about them, but you'll see them when they happen.
Listen, looks like you are living your best life.
Yes, I am. I'm very happy. I'm content. I couldn't ask for a better village.
Come on.
That's what I want to call them.
Yes.
I could not ask for a better village. I could not ask for better siblings, and parents. I am so blessed. I really am.
Yes.
And so I am on here in hopes that I could be a blessing to someone else.
And I know that you have, Miss Astrid. I know that you have. The chat is blowing up tonight. Miss Yvette Register is here. Hey, Yvette, how you
I
doing?
see that.
She's giving you a shout out there. Amazing story, Sherry L. Washington. Willie Grayson says, I love it. Absolutely. I have enjoyed my time talking with you, Miss Astrid. I know that you and I, we can talk all day. So thank you
Yeah.
again for the opportunity to have a conversation about your journey to surviving breast cancer. Thank you for being open and honest, and I look forward to staying connected and just continuously cheering you on and see how God is blessing you because greater is ahead for God's friend, Miss Astrid C. Washington. Greater
Yeah.
is ahead. So thank you so much. Continue to live the triumphant life, and God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, listen, listen. I have been blessed from tonight's interview, and let me just share with you. I like to take about 2 minutes to talk about some new insights that I've gained from the topic of the evening. And I want to thank everybody for stopping in and showing Miss Astrid some love. Shout outs to her tribe who's had her back from day one. God bless you. And anybody that's out there currently in the struggle and trying to walk through and make sense of what's happening in your life today. I hope that Astrid was able to provide nuggets for you to remind you that you're not by yourself. God is indeed with you and can be your friend too. He's not biased, and He's there waiting for an invite and an opportunity to be close to you in this present situation. And there is triumph after the tragedy. And that's the essence of triumphant living, experiencing great success after great hardship and difficulty. And that is definitely Miss Astrid's story tonight. So she shared. I also want to share more insight with on a larger scale. 2.8 million survivors of breast cancer is walking the earth as we speak now. So, in addition to Miss Astrid's wonderful story, there are other women out there who have survived in their own unique way, and they are, I hope, sharing their story of survival too. Do know that there has been some advancements in medicine and some preventative care that has increased over the last 20 years. So I'm excited that with all of the breast cancer walks and all of those opportunities to donate, it is going towards a greater cause and we are seeing results. So that is a good thing to know as well, that your donations are not in vain. When you join a walk, when you join an organization, and when you donate towards the cause of finding a cure, we are seeing those effects today. They're closer with medication and drugs to lengthen the survival rate of individuals. Do know that as you increase your active lifestyle, that also increases your survival as well. So I just want you all to continue to be encouraged. Stand up for women who are in the struggle, that has survived the struggle. I want to shout out two powerful women too, in addition to Miss Astrid, who is a survivor. Miss Yvette Register stopped by tonight. Shout outs to you as well, my dear, for surviving your fight with breast cancer. Also, Dr. Pam Powell, shout outs to you, Queen Sister, for surviving breast cancer as well. So we all know somebody, whether it's in our circle, through professional connections, or a family member who's a survivor. Continue to lift that person up. Continue to encourage that person and help that person spread the word of there is hope after surviving breast cancer. And if you have someone that has passed on, I want to encourage you to advocate for that person. Remember and honor that person again, whether it's through joining a cause, donating, or just sharing fond memories with that person. That too can inspire you to live triumphantly. So until next time, I will be joined here again in the Triumphant Living Studios with Miss Shirlette McCullough. She's going to talk about mental health and living her dreams. Next week, November 5th, join me at 7 p.m. I cannot wait to reconnect with you all. And until then, continue to be empowered to live the triumphant life. God bless.